Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. Yesterday I watched Too Hard to Handle Germany, Season 2, and it was a show. Now, I have never watched any reality TV series. Not really, except for Singles Inferno. But that's it. So what better way to start my debut into this genre? By watching the worst one, I think, maybe. I have made some notes, 16 pages in total by the way, and I guess I'll just give you the recap on all 8 episodes. For whatever reason, there's 8 episodes. Alright, so in episode 1, the contestants come in and they think they're on a different show called Get Wild Club. Juicy People Only, which is the fakest name for a show I've ever heard. And they also explain that there's 200,000 euros prize money. How do they split that? They never explain. But since I watched the whole thing, I can tell you it's one person who gets the money. So then the first 2 contestants come in. Brenda and Cassie. No fucking way those are their real names. Nobody in Köln is called Brenda. Also, we don't get their ages, so I have no clue how old the people are. I just think Cassie might be 32 and Brenda might be 29. For Cassie, I only wrote down the quote, "Sex is a distraction. I don't like when guys talk too much." Yeah, well, that won't come in later to bite her in the ass, I'm pretty sure. So yeah, then Brenda introduces herself and her job is doing lash extensions. Somebody explained to me why she has the worst lash extensions I've ever seen on a human being. But yeah, something she says that really stuck to me is oftentimes she's too lazy to meet new people. So she just goes through her contacts to see who she can recycle. Then comes in Laurenz, the first male contestant with the first German name. I think he might be something like 35 maybe? And something I just thought is funny. Brenda says, "I smell his cologne already." He's from Cologne. She's from Cologne as well. So she can smell his cologne. Oh yeah, he's one of those people who says, "I'm funny and I have a lot of character." If you say you're funny, you're probably not funny. And also, there is no way he's straight. Alright, for contestant number 4, Tanina, who might be 37. We don't know. But yeah, Tanina was my girl. I wrote down, might be best girl. But you know what's not the best? Her fucking eyeliner. What the fuck is that, Wing? Anyways, she comes in, her outfit is eating, like Queen, slay the house down boots mama. But then she mentions she's a DJ. That's a red flag, I'm sorry. And since I think she's so old, she's low-key giving midlife crisis. Oh boy, then comes in Leonard, who might be 29. And boy, this fucking guy, I hate looking at his face. He says by himself he always wants to be the center of attention. And then he comes in and for his beauty shot, he goes like... Like, girl, we see him. He's giving K-pop idol with blue lenses in. Oh yeah. And for the introduction, he's completely oiled up. Why? Who on set was like, "Oh, this guy. Let's oil up this guy. Just this guy." Oh my god. Then comes in the next fucking guy, Kelvin. I think he might be 30. And I am not a Kelvin stan. I am a Kelvin anti. My household, we're an anti-Kelvin household. This guy gave me the ick from second one. Oh my god, a quote he says. "When I go into the club, I'm a lion, and women are my sexy prey." So you're a predator. Why don't you have a seat right over there? Oh my god, and then he says, he's allergic to vanilla sex. What? I wrote down, definitely likes to get pegged. And I stand by that. Oh yeah, also, he comes in and Laurenz instantly flirts.
Pretty eyes.
Yeah.
A good body's important to me.
So you like me then?
Dude.
Laurenz, I'm looking at you, motherfucker. Alright, then the next girl. Yasmina. I'm a Yasmina stan. I thought she's 26. And she's the only one we hear the age of. She's 20, which is an alarming age to be in a show like that, I feel like. But yeah, I'm a Yasmina stan. She's gorgeous. She's the queen. She knows she's the queen. But something that I can't support is her saying she likes fuckboys and bad boys. Yasmina, sit down. Take a hike. Oh god, next off. Fabian, which I might think is 28. Now, he think he ate as well, but I don't think so. He comes in super aggressive, like a Dead by Daylight killer. I thought he's gonna rip off his shirt and punch somebody in the face or some shit. Oh my god, and he also says he's always loyal in a relationship. Sure, buddy. Oh yeah, also, he looks like Dantes, does he not? That's blonde German Dantes.
Sex is very important to me, ideally 5 to 6 times a day.
A day? Sir, 24 hours is 1 day. Divide that by 6. That's 4 hours. That's every 4 hours. Not happening. Oh yeah, he comes in and instantly hits on Tanina. We keep that in mind, okay? Here comes contestant number 5? 6? I've lost track. Joanna, with the worst spelling of the name I've ever seen. I think she might be 33, and she looks like a NYX product. I can't explain it. If you look at the NYX Instagram, that's what she looks like. She comes in, and Calvin is too stunned to speak. Calvin
was too stunned to speak.
Also a fun fact, she likes wild sex, and she's good with her mouth and tongue. Thought you might want to know that. Also, she always goes in for the fucking wettest kisses. She always goes in fully mouth open, fully tongue out, and I don't like watching that, okay? She also mentions she's a jealous person, and I swear to God, she looks like a psychopath. She's gonna key your car. She's gonna slash your tires. She's gonna slash your throat, okay? Then the next guy, I was looking at the name Mikhail and I was like, who the fuck is that? And then I wrote down, he's from Vienna. He's the only Austrian guy. He's my kin, okay? And from the introduction onward, you never see him again. Don't expect to ever see him ever again. Except for some reaction shots every 2 to 3 episodes of him going like, but that's it. I didn't even write down an age. I think he's like 30 or some shit. I wrote down he has a dumbass beard. I don't like his beard. He has a dumbass dialect. Oh my god, I turned down the fucking English dub for 1 second and his dialect is diabolical.
Ja, dann bringe ich ein bisschen andere Stimmung da rein, ey.
He works as a model. His type are Latinas and Swedish girls, which are 2 completely different spectrums, by the way. Anyways, those are all the contestants for now, okay? So they immediately develop some sort of relationships or interests. So Joanna wants Calvin and Cassie. So then Jasmina wants Leonard. Fabian immediately wants Tanina. Lawrence immediately wants Brenda. So then I gathered this screenshot of the what I like to call love hexagon. I'm not gonna count how many corners there are, but everybody loves everybody. Let's just say like that. Then they enter the villa, which looks cool. I'm gonna say the villa looks amazing. So yeah, they go in and on their expedition hike to see what the villa looks like, Fabian immediately stops Tanina and kisses her, which doesn't matter because for the first 9 hours that they're there, everything is allowed. I forgot to mention that. So they immediately make out. Of course they do. Then Jasmina kisses Cassie. That came out of nowhere. I'm gonna say Cassie is, I feel like, the main character. Everybody wants Cassie for some reason. So then Brenda and Lawrence talk to each other. They're on completely different pages, I feel like. Brenda is immediately like, I'm not looking for connections here, okay? And Lawrence is like, oh, yeah, sure. Oh my god. Jasmina is a very talkative person. She's very loud, she's very out there. And Leonard is just the opposite. I feel like he'd never had to talk to a woman before. He always touches his hair, he always just looks at people, and that's it. That's it. If somebody talks to him, he's completely fucking out of his league. He's like, oh no, oh shit, what do I do? And you can see that he's immediately fed up by how loud and talkative Jasmina is. And then the first party happens. There's these short ass parties which only last like 1 or 2 minutes just to be like pretty much low-key softcore porn, and they all gather up. Outfits are eating. The guys always look like me. This is every guy's outfit in the show. Also, they're in Mexico and there's 38 degrees and everybody's always super fucking sweaty. Then the party host, which is like a disco ball, gives them the challenge of reaching a heart rate of 200 BPM to unlock a special surprise. Oh yeah, special surprise. Cardiac arrest. Also, Calvin walks like a creep. He walks like Professor Crocker from Fairly Odd Parents or some shit. Or Gagami. Oh no, and then the big surprise happens. And the big surprise is they reveal that they're on Too Hot to Handle. And everybody's like, no, oh no, oh my god. And somebody screams hysterical like they're being stabbed or some shit. So yeah, there's no sex, no petting, no heavy touching, no masturbation. Nothing is allowed. No kissing as well.
So no head?
And that concludes episode 1. Then we go into episode 2. The rules are established. And on minute 2, We got the first rule break by Fabian and Tanina. They immediately start making out. Oh my god, and I think that's the night where I feel like that was borderline rape. Like Fabian pulls out his erect schlong multiple times and Tanina has to stop him and be like, hey yo, put that thing away. Then Calvin briefly loses 10,000 aura. And also, Fabian pulls out his schlong multiple times in the night, makes out with Tanina, rule break. Then they wake up. He goes into the bathroom and kisses Cassie? What? Where did that come from? So yeah, that is rule break number 2 by Fabian. Of course it is. I just wrote down what the fuck at 6 minutes. Whatever that is, this is the scene. I don't know what that means. So yeah, then they get the first get together where Lana, the fucking anal plug looking Alexa type shit, is telling them how many rule breaks there were in this day. And as she's talking about the rule breaks, Brenda looks like she's about to throw hands. So yeah, Leonard and Yasmina were doing some very much rubbing together, which I feel like is the equivalent of a good foot job, maybe? You know, it's like very much rubbing together. And they get a warning for that. And that warning costs them 1,000 bucks out of the 200,000 prize money. Oh my god. And the rule violation for kissing and pulling out his schlong for Fabian and Tanina is 20,000 bucks.
Stupid bitch.
Oh yeah, and Fabian gets another fine of 6,000 bucks for kissing Cassie. And what does Fabian get as a penalty for multiple rule breaks within the first 5 minutes of the show? He gets a private date with Tanina, which I was so hoping for because drama. Tanina was like, oh yeah, he's fully set on me. He kissed Cassie, and Tanina was not having that. So the private date was very awkward. Tanina was always like, fuck you. Get your shit together. Don't play with me, motherfucker. And that concludes the date. They just talked. Oh yeah, then Fabian also loses 10,000 aura. So Calvin and Fabian are already down to 10,000. As I was teasing earlier, Leonard is having enough of fucking Yasmina and immediately wants Cassie now because everybody wants Cassie, of course. Oh yeah, there's workshops in this show because the premise of the show is we want you sex-addicted fucking dickheads to appreciate emotions in a relationship. So they have workshops for that. And the first workshop is called Fantastic Sex. It's a very awkward workshop. If I was there, I would be like, I don't know. First they have to move and explore where they feel the most desire to be touched. And it's like, okay, sure. They stand against each other and they have a bucket of paint and they have to put paint where they want to be touched. So they touch their neck, they touch their titties, ass, and whatever. And I feel like people don't get the premise of the fucking workshop, and they get even hornier. Oh yeah, Lawrence and Brenda are a couple. Brenda is now the so-called sex police, because she's very heavy on enforcing the rules. That won't come full circle, right? And Lawrence tries to make a move on Brenda, but gets shut down, because the sex police is like, no. If I do this now, I lose all credibility, so no, Lawrence. No, Lawrence, no. Sit. Yeah, then Tanina goes to get a shower because she's full of paint, and Fabian joins her because of course he does. And what the fuck is that shower? Like the water is not spread, it's like just one stream of water. And the bench next to it, why is there a bed next to it? And it gets all wet and stuff and disgusting. That's a mold magnet. But of course they're showering together. Of course Fabian immediately makes out with Tanina again. I just wrote down, hey Fabian, very big right here. Fabian, that's enough rule breaks in 2 episodes. You have to fucking relax. And that's a very heavy makeout session. Keep that in mind for later, okay? Leonard and Cassie make their in-house relationship official now, so they're coupled up. And then Calvin and Joanna, they have a nice date on the beach, and they break the rules, of course they do. They kiss multiple times. Keep that in mind for later as well. We're on episode 3 already, and you know what we immediately hear? What happened in episode 2? When Brenda, the sex police, said, no, I won't kiss you. 3 seconds after, she does. She breaks the rules. Sex police, no credibility. Sex police, you need to be locked up as well. So yeah, at the get-together, Lana explains how much money they lose. And it bothers me so fucking much because it makes no sense. First off, Calvin and Joanna, they kissed 3 times and it was like 3 normal length kisses. And they lose $18,000 for that. 18,000. Previous night, when Fabian pulled out his schlong multiple times, they made out and he touched titties and shit. They lost 20,000. But for 3 default-sized kisses, 18,000? It makes even less sense when we hear how much Fabian and Tanina lose for their heavy, very sexual, borderline softcore porn makeout session in the shower. Take a guess. 15,000. 18,000 for 3 harmless kisses. 15,000 for a whole ass softcore porn. Also, Brenda and Lawrence lose 17,000 for their makeout session. It makes no sense. Bro, they lost so much money. It's insane. But yeah, oh my god. Leonard and Cassie were sleeping in one bed last night. And Leonard had to get up and go into another bed because he would lose control otherwise. And for that, Lana actually congratulates him and they get a night in the private suite, which is not a penalty, it's a reward. Keep that in mind, we explored that theme later on as well. So yeah, in the suite a lot happens, like they have a great time to say the least. And Leonard loses 10,000 aura. Oh! So yeah, they get out next morning and Lana reveals they got minus 15,000 again because Cassie fumbled on Leonard's schlong. 15,000 for a schlong stroking session. 18,000 for smooching. Einstein would be furious right now. I'm not gonna complain any further about this, okay? Oh yeah, and then comes in 2 new contestants. Adding contestants is kind of unfair because the whole point of the show is you get into the final if you have the biggest change of heart. How can you have a big change of heart if you come in the middle of the show? So I think that's kind of unfair. The people who come in the middle know that they're in Too Hot to Handle though, so that's good. But they have no fucking chance of getting the prize money. They're just there to fuck up the other couples, which I'm not complaining about. I'm all for the drama. So yeah, the new contestants are called Godfrey, the fucking Elden Lord himself coming in, and Jennifer, who I don't have much to say at the beginning. They don't really have introductions. Like, they have one short sentence and that's pretty much it. So yeah, they come in and they can choose people to have a date with. Godfrey chooses Cassie, because everybody chooses Cassie, and they're absolutely not vibing. Cassie is so not into him. But Godfrey... Godfrey is the cringe man. He's not the Elden Lord, he's the Lord of Cringe. I'm gonna call him that. He's not the Elden Lord, he's the Cringe Lord. He's so out of touch. He has the kind of riz that old people like, you know? When you want to seduce an old woman, that's the kind of riz you need to take. He's kind of scary. Cassie takes a sip and he looks at her like... That's somebody who spiked her drink. Do not trust this guy. And Jennifer picked Calvin. Mind, Calvin already was in a relationship with Joanna. So Joanna is fuming. She's not very fuming, she's very insecure. She's very jealous. She's like, oh no, it's over. He's gonna do something with her. I'm out of the league. And she's kind of right because Calvin and Jennifer are very vibing. She's very into him. He's very into her. They click right away. Oh yeah. And Jennifer immediately makes it known that she's here to fuck shit up. She doesn't give a fuck. She's here to have fun with everybody and she doesn't give a fuck if they're coupled. Honestly, queen. So yeah, conclusion of those dates. Calvin wants Jennifer so fucking bad and Cassie is loyal to Leonard. On to episode 4. So as expected, Calvin and Joanna have some drama and they break up. But then... Joanna, the queen herself, has the best fucking most diabolical content farming plan ever, which I was so fucking hoping for. And she plans to hook up with Jennifer. Oh yeah, and in the night, Brenda, the sex police, who was very strict on keeping the money and enforcing the rules, gets a finger session. I thought you might want to know that. So yeah, then the contestants are off to workshop number 2, Power of Breath. And they bring in 2 guys. They bring in White Jesus and Lil Pump. Like, They're so out of place. I think it's so fucking great. So yeah, they have a breathing sessions where they really think about what their deepest issue might be. So Joanna discovers her trust issues. Lawrence discovers his fear of rejection. Michael is scared of opening up. Oh, you were wondering who Michael is? Yeah, me too. It's the fucking Vienna guy who has no screen time. That's the first time we see him after the introduction. So then they have another breathing session, and I swear to God, Lil Pump looks like he's about to shoot up a school or some shit. So yeah, the fucking next step is some ooga booga meditation. They all scream and fucking shout. It sounds like if your whole squad is spamming C and Chivalry 2, if you know what I mean. And that concludes the whole fucking workshop. So yeah, right after the workshop, Godfrey, the cringe lord of old woman Riz, comes in and hits on Joanna. He's like, oh yeah, in the workshop I noticed we're really clicking, whatever, yada yada yada. And I'm just asking, who casted this guy? Who had an interview with Godfrey and said, yeah. But yeah, also at the same time, Calvin and Jennifer have another date on the exact same spot where Joanna and Calvin had the date. And exactly the same way, Calvin breaks the rules again and they kiss. Of course they fucking do. And then the producers do him so dirty. I fucking love him. Applause to them for that. They kiss on the exact same spot to the date. And he does the exact same move where he spins her around, which he did to Joanna.
Oh, he did.
Wow.
This guy has one move and that's it. So yeah, while we're already at rule breaks, Fabian and Tanina do it again. They make out in the bed again. He keeps his dick in the pants though. So then the next morning, it's time. Joanna makes her move on Jennifer. She's very flirty. We immediately know that she wants something. But then it happens and they actually kiss. And the best part, they don't tell anybody. So Lana has to tell the whole group later on. Which is so fucking good. Later on, they have another party that lasts for 30 seconds. And everybody is dressed like cyberpunk characters, I feel like. Dude, Yasmina, 8. Dude, she left no crumbs. Which doesn't matter because they immediately have to have a meeting where Lana tells them how much money they lost again. So yeah, Fabian and Tanina's makeout session cost them 6,000 bucks. Way cheaper than earlier. So Jennifer and Calvin kissed twice. But Lana is like, Jennifer, you broke my rules 3 times. And Calvin is sitting there like, whoa, no, that didn't happen. So then Lana lists them up. 6,000 for kissing on the beach. Another 6,000 for kissing Calvin. And then another 6,000 for kissing in the bedroom. And Calvin's like, dude, we never kissed in the bedroom. And then she hits the bombshell with Joanna. And Calvin is so pissed. Dude, his fucking face like completely drops. It's so good. It's so fucking good. And then, oh my god, Lana reveals that Brenda, the sex police, had her little fucking fingering session with Lawrence, which cost the group 53,000 bucks. That's 25% of the overall money. But yeah, so the group only has 30,000 bucks left in total, which is so sad. We're in episode 4 out of 8. So yeah, what happens? Remember last time when Lana congratulated Lawrence for his composure, and as a gift, as a present, as a reward, he gets the private suite for the night. Well, yeah, for the fuck up of 53,000 bucks, Brenda and Lawrence get the private suite today. As a punishment, you can't give out the private suite as a reward and then as a punishment. That's not how you do things, man. But yeah, Brenda is visually shocked by this screenshot. But yeah, as they leave to the private suite, the other contestants get the news that they can gain money back. If Brenda and Lawrence don't do anything, they get money back. They get 2 times the money. Like now they have 30,000, so then they would be at 6,000. But if Brenda and Lawrence break the rules, it counts double. So if they kiss, it's not 6,000, it's 12,000 and yada yada yada. And they have to bet, do they do something or do they don't do something? They have high hopes and bet that they who just lost 53,000 in a fingering accident, don't do anything. where I'm like, what? How can you trust them at all? So yeah, oh my god, while they discuss whether to trust them or not, we get some goofy ass shots of Brenda and Lawrence getting ready in the private suite, where there's a lot of kinky stuff, like a whip and whatnot. And dude, Lawrence, you're such a fucking ick. I swear to god, there was a producer in the corner telling them to be cringe, just for them to have teasers. Oh, are they gonna do something? Oh, are they not gonna do something? I swear to god, it's so scripted. But yeah, that's where episode 4 leaves off with a cliffhanger. On to episode 5. We immediately start where we left off. Did they break rules or not? No, they didn't. So now the money is doubled and they left off with 60,000 bucks in the prize pool. And then another new thing comes in. They get wristwatches, which look very heavy and clunky, by the way. And with those watches, the producers monitor if the couple actually makes a connection, if they make an actual step towards bettering themselves, emotionally maturing and stuff. And if they actually do show maturity and emotional growth, they get rewarded by the wristband glowing green for a couple seconds, which is a green light where everything is allowed. So somebody could whip out his cock and they suck it really quick and stuff like that, you know? So pretty much everybody's running around with a condom on their dick 24/7. But also the wristwatch can glow red to indicate that you are eliminated from the show. If you have not shown any growth, if you have not have any development at all, you're out. And I'm sad to say, Yasmina, my queen, is out. And also, who else is eliminated? Mikhail. Who the fuck is Mikhail? So yeah, the couples who had the most growth get private dates. And those couples are, at this point, I just decided to make shipping names. So the private date goes to Brenda and Lawrence, called Brents, and to Cassie and Leonard, which I call Lessie.
You nicknamed my daughter after the Loch Ness Monster?
So at this point, Lawrence realizes, wait a minute, this show is actually for us to get real emotional connections. That's not what I signed up for. I'm scared of emotional connection. A label would ruin it, he said. What? But yeah, they figure it out at the date. They really click. And for that growth, they get the green light. And they kiss for a couple seconds. So yeah, oh my god, the fucking Lessie date. That was, oh my god. As we remember, Leonard has no fucking clue how to talk to people. Cassie really wants to talk to him about her past. And Leonard constantly interrupts her. It's so infuriating.
So listen, in the past,
I have really cool outfits too.
I don't know if just the editing is making it out like that, but oh my god, it's so infuriating. He constantly talks about himself, and then he's like, oh, there's the others, hello. And then she wants to talk, and he's like, oh, hey, hey, hey. Shut the fuck up, Leonard. Honestly, he's giving low-key acoustic. And therefore, because he's not showing any growth, they don't get a green light. So yeah, Cassie had some issues in the past, in her childhood, where she got some trust issues and shit like that. And she wants to open up about that and talk about that with Leonard. And he immediately interrupts her again. He's like, oh, you want to know how my childhood was? I was very ugly as a child. He was so ugly. He had glasses and red hair. Bro, Cassie is sitting next to you with red hair. He is so clueless. It's so annoying. So Cassie gets obviously very annoyed, very mad, and calls him out for his bullshit and leaves, of course. Leonard doesn't really notice this, doesn't really realize what his mistake is, and consults about it with everybody else, and everybody else is like, yeah, Leonard, you're being a dickhead. How about you just apologize and try to listen for once? But what happens? Ooh, all of that is interrupted by another guy joining. The last guy who joined was called Godfrey, the Elden Lord. Who do we have now? Fucking Leonidas. Yeah, he's not a Spartan, he's Greek. In his introduction, he says he's very proud of his schlong. Women even like to take selfies with it. That's all I'm gonna say about him. Also, he looks like Pedro Pascal. Oh yeah, also a new girl enters the villa called Samira. And I feel like she's very awkward. Like, she looks like she doesn't know how to move her body at all. And she kind of looks like Reyna from Valorant. I don't know. So yeah, Samira chooses Fabian for the date. Remember, Fabian is very set on Tamina. What is her name? Not Tamina. Fabian is very set on Tangerine. And Tininus is very focused on Fabian. Leonidas chooses Jennifer, which infuriates Kelvin. Oh, do we not love Calvin getting a taste of his own medicine, right? Oh my god, yes. And the producers are really popping off because on these dates, they got a free pass. They can do fucking anything. So this is how episode 5 ends. And we jump into episode 6 with Fabian rejecting Samira. Fabian goes back to Tanina and she's very nervous, obviously. And he's like, no, I was constantly thinking about you. He really opens up and he even gets teary eyes and shit. Like, that's a big move for a guy like him. Jennifer also refuses Leonidas and immediately wants to break the rules with Calvin again. Jennifer, fucking relax, please. Fabian and Tanina, who I like to call Fabina, break the rules again. It's enough, man. Of course, Calvin and Jennifer, who I like to call Kennifer, also break the rules, as we're used to at this point. And then we're off to workshop 3, called Female Affirmation. As the name applies, it's just for the girlies. And they just explore what it means to be a woman to them. Oh yeah, the Elden cringe lord Godfrey made moves on Joanna right away when he came. So Leonidas, the fucking Spartan lord, comes in and immediately makes moves on Joanna as well. But Joanna's like, no, you chose Jennifer at the beginning. I don't like to be a second choice. I'd rather be on my own. And because she learned to depend on herself instead of on others, she gets the green light on herself for 15 minutes. So of course she goes into the shower and does the deed, which sounds like she's taking a shit. No, she's not shitting in the shower. So yeah, as Joanna tells the group that she had the green light with herself, everybody's like very shocked, blah, blah, blah. And Lawrence needs to get to the ER right away because what the fuck is that?
Wow.
So yeah, they have their next get together. Lana tells them they got minus $6,000 because of Fabina making out and minus $6,000 for Kennifer.
It was stupid, it was selfish.
On to episode 7. Since Leslie is still struggling, Lana prepared a couple quiz for them. Not really a quiz, more a dilemma. So they're both in 2 rooms and they have to decide. Either they leave with $15,000 right now, or they stay in the show, choose love, but they cannot get the prize money in the end. And I'm like, how about we both choose 15,000 and meet up after the show? That's so smart. That might just be me. Because they both choose love. I mean, that Cassie chose love, sure. But Lena choosing love? That was a surprise to me. And my first thought was like, they're in the show now and they have no prize money to win. So why don't they just fuck the whole time? Like, make it hell for everybody else because you don't care anyways, right? Maybe I'm just an asshole because they don't do that. They're fine. Workshop number 4, reshaping masculinity. So last time we got the girly workshop, now we got the boy workshop. The manly workshop. In this one, they dig deep to discover what stops them from forming an emotional relationship. And they really open up. Leonidas cries, Fabian cries, Godfrey cries. That's a very emotional fucking workshop. So yeah, after that, 2 couples get private dates again. The couples being Kennifer and Fabina. Kennifer gets the green light because they show growth apparently, but Fabina gets no green light because Tanina is very open and she's like, yeah, and I want to explore this and I really am into this, blah, blah. And Fabian just doesn't return the favor. He's very close, you can tell him. He doesn't know how to express his feeling. Therefore, no green light for them. Then there was a weird scene where Godfrey and Lana have a date. And then they have a pool party where the outfits are a choice. The girls are all eating, but the boys, also, it's so funny. I have this screenshot where you can see how fed up everybody is when Lana interrupts the fucking parties. Because of course, after 30 seconds of softcore porn, Lana interrupts the party, of course, again. Also, Cassie looks like Chaperone. Anyways, Samira, surprise, she's still in the show. She's gone anyways, you don't have to know her. She got disqualified. Since Fabina is still kind of struggling to open up, they get the private suite. And it's the same scenario again, where if they don't do anything, the money doubles. And if they do something, the money counts twice, whatever. It's the same thing as earlier. And oh my god, the teaser scene for those 2 where I said it's probably the producer telling them to do stuff like that. That teaser scene was wild. I feel like if that teaser scene isn't scripted, you should subtract money for that. Because holy fucking shit. Go watch it yourself and you know what I mean. Holy moly. Anyways, On to episode 8. They didn't do anything. Big surprise. Woo. Then we're on to the 5th and last workshop, Emotional Rebirth. So in that, the White Jesus and Lil Pump are back, and they explore what the contestants will take away from the show. And it's all pretty nice, blah blah, boring, no drama. And then they get together and Lana chooses the finalists. The finalists being the people who Lana thinks have the most emotional growth in the show so far. And Lana chooses Brent as a couple, Joanna, of course they did. And the last one is Fabian. There can only be one winner, which the other contestants vote for. But who was the winner? Fabian. Oh yeah, also 24 rule violations. Fabian committed most of them. So yeah, Fabian walked away with, what was it? I think 50,000. And since the show is over, no rules apply, so they all had a big gangbang. No, they didn't, I lied. So what happened to the couples after the show, you might ask? They had a reunion. I didn't watch the whole thing because it's too long for me, let's be honest. I watched the whole show in one sitting yesterday. I didn't want to watch the reunion, so I just Googled. So, Brenda and Lawrence are still together, and they're planning their wedding even, which is such a surprise because those were the two who immediately said they don't want a relationship and they don't want connections. It's so funny. So Leslie, being Leonard and Cassie, the two people who chose love over money to stay in the show for free, broke up. Fabina, being Fabian and Tanina, are still together. And the last couple was Kennifer, Calvin and Jennifer. They broke up. And that was it. That was my last page. Do I recommend watching the show? No, because you already know what's gonna happen, because I told you. Would I watch the other season? Or even the other Too Hot to Handles? I don't know. I feel like it was too long. 8 episodes for the same premise. That's too long. If you want me to explore any other dating shows or something, let me know, because I never watched any of them, except for Singles Inferno. But yeah, anyways guys, thank you so much for watching. If you liked the video, like the video. If you like me, subscribe to my channel. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.